What's happening, folks? This is the Dominance Academy, and I'm your host, Mr. Justin. So, just setting up my audio. Did an impromptu thing here. It's saying my shit's connected, but I'm not hearing anything. Oh, it would help if I were to play some music. All right. But it's not coming through my headphones. Fuck. All right. Well, anyways, so we're gonna be talking about the complaints I have about women. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh yeah, Uncle Guns. I'm just saying I can't hear it. It's not. The Bluetooth is not connecting to my my headphones for some reason. So, but but this is a joke. This is a joke. I don't have any complaints about women. I just figured it'd be a good opportunity to get a bunch of weird losers to watch a video that's actually not about complaining about women. But we will get into that in a minute.
Welcome to the Dominance Academy, where we specialize in revitalizing manhood and leadership. Our approach focuses on developing men to lead with strength and passion, enriching their lives and their families. We provide practical solutions and expert guidance in the realms of sexual education and the mysteries behind polarity and structured power dynamics. Join us at thedominanceacademy.com and restore harmony to your home while rediscovering the joy of a fulfilling masculine presence. It's time to step into your role as a leader and as a man. And now the host of the show, Mr. Justin.
We are connected, finally. Okay, so yeah, I don't have any complaints about women. Fuck that. Right? Because I mean, realistically, why would a man complain about a woman? Come on. Right? They're not big enough of a thing in life to have complaints about. And if you've got shit going on that is subpar, that is not to your liking, just remove yourself from the situation or dismiss her. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. You want to go out on a date and she's like, has some sort of protocols that you don't want to answer to, then say, all right, thank you, but I'm going to pass. And that's it. That's it. Okay. If she's acting out and she's being a certain way, then, and you know, you haven't set up any sort of like agreed upon protocols or whatever, then you just simply remove yourself from the situation. You cannot grant someone the gift of your time and attention if they're being an asshole, right? Or if they're just, you know, being unwilling or what have you. Okay. So I figured I would do some little bit of digging and see, you know, what average guys are talking about. Because again, you know, I live in a bubble. I live in a bubble of peace where I really just don't have problems with women. So I wanted to just see what these complaints are. And this one guy says they expect. So I went onto Reddit, right? I think Reddit is a really great place to get the honest thoughts of people because it's anonymous. So people can just put all kinds of stuff on there. So the question here on the post on the subreddit was under r Ask Men, what are your main complaints about dating women? And this one person said ghosting. Okay, that's understandable, but like, who cares? Like again, it's just a woman. It only matters if you had put some stock in this person, right? Basically, like you had hopes. You had hopes that something was going to happen. You were emotionally engaged, and then it didn't happen according to your expectations, even on like a basic social level, and you got butthurt about it. Now, what is it rude? Sure, but like, don't act all entitled. Like, who cares? It's just a person living their life. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And so, yeah, rudeness, fine. You're like, ugh, that sucks, okay? But if you're getting upset, then that has to do with your expectations, right? This other guy says, I'm with you. The impress me mindset is a huge turnoff for me. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to connect with you and be an equal partner. God, like, I feel like this. See, the thing is with Reddit is you never know who's answering. So this could be like a 13-year-old boy, right? So I could hear him saying something like equal partner, but I couldn't imagine a grown man, even though they are saying these sort of things. They are saying these things about being an equal partner, right? It's like, guys, you're not equal. There are things that women are and that women have that you will never possess. Never. And vice versa. Just certain qualities, certain ways of seeing the world, the way one would relate with themselves. You're not equal. Okay? Like a wolf and a wild boar are not equal. They're not equal creatures. They're both unique, right? And in some certain circumstances, they need each other to complete the circle of an ecosystem. Even though those two animals don't exist in the same ecosystem, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, I don't know exactly what wolves hunt down and eat. So this guy says, fortunately, most women who feel that way put something to that effect on their profile, so I can just weed them out. Oh, you're doing such a good job of weeding them out, right? Like you're sitting here just being able to pluck women out and put them in your pocket, right? No, they're not even paying attention to you, dummy. This guy says they expect you to know what they want when they themselves don't know what they want. This is someone who doesn't know how to lead. Okay? You don't need to know what they want. You just do what you want to do. You create the experiences and situations that you want to experience. And if she likes it, she'll stick around. If she doesn't like it, you can allow her the freedom to keep walking. Right? The guy underneath him says, bruh, how is this not a top comment? Yes, there's a ton of expected mind reading going on. I get a kick out of reading women's posts on the dating subreddits. They complain about guys not making a move at the right time and guys making move too early. Shit is hilarious. It doesn't matter. See, the problem with guys like this is that they pay attention to the things that women say too much. Okay, the only woman's voice that actually matters is the woman that has successfully campaigned to be on your program. And she's listening, she's following, she's doing what you want to do. She's happily doing these things. And if she has thoughts of her own, which she does, and presents them to you, then you can choose to listen. You don't even have to at that point either. But she's gone into the situation such that she's earned that ability for you to even consider, right? You don't have to, but she's in the position where you could. Okay? That's the only woman you should be worrying about what comes out of their mouth. Everybody else is an NPC. There's this other guy. The overwhelming majority of women that I've experienced in the dating world have absolutely, completely unrealistic expectations of what it means to date. For example, every girl I've interacted with says they're looking for something long-term committed, but in actuality, they're not interested in actually putting in the effort to develop a long-term committed relationship. That's because they don't like you. When they like you, then you can put forth what your expectations are and they will meet them. That's what it's very simple. It's very, very simple math. She just doesn't like you, dude. Women will constantly criticize that guys are only about trying to get laid and that they don't want a relationship. But when you actually try to approach a woman to foster the connection to develop a relationship, they ghost you and ignore you. Yes, because Mr. Proficient here, that's his screen name, you have no sexual prowess. You have no sexual attraction. Okay? Sexual attraction is the most potent form of attraction. It's what really draws us together because it engages our hindbrain, okay? That the survival part of the brain. And you can't really rewire these things very easily, all right? So if there's no sexual attraction, then no matter how well you approach a woman trying to foster a connection that you hear them deeply speak about, on numerous forums and numerous subreddits and all this bullshit, it's not going to matter. Because if she's not attracted to you, it's going nowhere. So then he says, there's a phrase that describes it pretty easily. After you get what you want, you don't want it anymore. Is that what you want? And to that, I would say the woman that's put herself in the position of being your woman, don't let her feel that she's got you all the time. Okay. Now I just got finished making a video for the course about rules and protocols. Rules and protocols allows the woman to know that she's not perfect, that she's not up to snuff. Now there's levels to it, right? Because there's levels of being up to snuff. She could be, after some hard work and dedication and things like that, that she is up there, but there's always room to grow. There's always something more to learn. There's always something better to perfect. And if you're the monitor and the manager and the arbiter of these sort of things, then there's always going to be that amount of she still needs to improve. And she's never going to feel like she's got you, right? Like you're always on watch. So he goes on to say, I hate when somebody wastes my time because they're playing a stupid game, because that's what too many people in the dating world do. Yeah, it feels like a stupid game when your desire exceeds hers. And women experience the same thing. Women experience this game, and it really comes down to the other person just doesn't like you that much. They don't like you as much as you like them. That's what it is. Or they're not as attracted to you as you are to them. Guys do it, girls do it. And this guy goes on saying it's fucking annoying and people need to stop wasting other people's time when they're not serious about what they're claiming that they want. Honestly, I think a lot of people are just waiting to see. Like there's some potential there and you want to see what they're about. And this takes time, okay? I'm of the minds that if you are the type of person who wants a long-term relationship or you want to get married, you need to take as much time as possible. Forget this romantic notion of when I saw her, I just knew she was my wife. Get out of that bullshit, okay? This is potentially one of the most important decisions that you will make in your life. As like, say, a young man who wants a wife. It has major repercussions, whether it's good or bad repercussions, or consequences rather, depending on who you bring into your life. So take as much time as you need. Don't let her, if she's giving you pressure about asking her to marry you after you've have been serious for like, say, 2 years, 3 years, say, I don't move that way. You're going to either be patient with me or you can go if this is not right for you. And so she's going to have to make a decision, but you allow her to make that decision. Don't rush because other people, your family, the woman, like anyone who's saying anything, right? Like they don't get a ruling say in how you date. Okay? So you should be taking your time as a man. This other guy says most of them are never just content. Social media validation and participation trophies, in my opinion. If you're not bringing consistent drama to your relationship, she'll eventually get bored and branch. Yeah, this is true. This is absolutely true. Women get bored. People get bored. All right. You need to be able to creatively provide variety. And if you're somebody who does not like variety, you like to eat the same meal every single day, you wear the same clothes every single day, you have the same routine every single day, which is what many guys can be, succumb to, then this is something that you really need to change. You really, really need to change this about your situation. You need to put some things that are a little bit spontaneous in there that are a little bit different. Okay? Because women do love and crave variety, all right? Especially in the bedroom. And that's something that I've added into my website. I just finished the book. Actually, I uploaded an edited version, so I forgot about some stuff. Again, like I live in a bubble where just things are normal, and I forget some certain things that are, you know, I take it for granted anyways. So I edited the book. It's now quite a bit longer, and I put it back up on the website. It's called How to Be a Fantastic Lover. So check that out. And in there, there's a large section on variety. And just women feed off of variety. They do not like repetition. They do not like rote repetition. It just makes them dry. Okay, it's not exciting. Like, can you blame them? Right? They're emotional beings, yet men criticize them for not liking consistent boredom. They're emotional beings. They love roller coasters. Okay. And if you got some good amount of game and some mouthpiece, you can provide them these little roller coasters inside their heart, inside their mind. And if you're good in the bedroom, on their body. So it's like, yeah, accept this. Accept the fact that they like roller coasters. They like variety. They like excitement. It's what turns them on. Like, just get over it. Okay. So yeah, like, this is, it's not looking at it in the right kind of way. What does this other guy say? If people were more open-minded to those who think differently, really, because this is actually a very common way of thinking, instead of being so intolerant with their echo chamber, if people would stop being so shallow and vain about attraction. Well, dude, that's what attraction is. Like, I'm really sorry, really, okay? But if you're short, fat, bad genetics, your brain is just not sharp, I'm sorry, you're gonna have a tough time procreating. You're gonna have a tough time getting women, which is, you know, backed by procreation. It's gonna be tough. Okay, I think the data is that, like, most men just don't procreate. That's just the way it is, and kudos to that too, because that's part of what keeps our species strong. All right. Like that women go for men that they perceive as good mates, at least from a genetic standing. That's good for our species. Okay. And I'm sorry if you're just not like that. Okay. But it doesn't mean you're doomed. Okay. It just means that you cannot rely on physical attraction. Okay. You can always step up. Okay. So if you're like a 3, you can become a 4 or 5. You're just gonna have to put in some effort. But more importantly, you can vastly increase your mind and your mouthpiece and how you communicate. Okay. Which comes down to your influence. So a guy who's like a 5, who has massive influence, like his mind is just really, really strong, versus say an 8 or a 9 who has no influence. He won the genetic lottery. Sure, the guy who's got the great genetics, he's gonna get that initial look, but he won't be able to keep a woman. Okay. And that's really what's more important, at least in that context. So he says, I constantly hear criticisms about how guys only want a girl with big tits or a big ass and a thin waist for being thick. Yet women are the same way about wanting a guy who's taller than 6 feet and him being athletic with a 6-pack. How about everybody stop being shallow and judging a person off their appearance and instead judge a person on the content of their character? Okay, well, it's all judged. Like, we're judging beings. He's judging right there. It's like, if you're being non-judgmental, you cannot say that people who are superficial are bad. That's a judgment. Let superficial people be superficial. And it's part of our nature. Okay. Part of our nature wants men that are strong and have good genetics and have strong character. Okay. It's just the way of nature. Sorry. Like, some animals just don't make it. Honestly, I have no complaints. Hey, look at that. Dates are great. Women are generally great company. Sure, some are assholes, but you don't go on a second date with an asshole. Problem solved. See, this guy's smart. He's got a good level head. Too many women in the dating pool that don't know why they're in the dating pool. What? That just doesn't even make sense. And then there's like this long back and forth. I I think he means too many broken, unhealed women that blame everyone but themselves as the reason they're in the dating pool. Women jumping from relationship to relationship without ever actually healing themselves or learning how to be single, and then wondering where all the good men went. That's a very common complaint that guys have. And the guys who narcissistically look at themselves and go, but I'm the good guy, and they keep looking over me, right? And it's like, no, you're not the good guy. You're actually passively manipulative, and you have narcissistic traits, and probably deep down you resent women. So no, you're not so good as you think you are. You're an asshole. Okay? Like, just let go of criticizing women, guys. It will not serve you in any way. Okay? And then someone else says here, I'm not being that critical of women as a whole. I just think that anyone who's dating should know why they're dating and be prepared to talk about who they are and who they want to be and where they want to be. Who has dates like that? No, it should be full of fun and flirting. That's it. On average, I think people are just mindlessly hop on dating apps for cheap entertainment. So, who cares? You're only saying this because you're one of the kids that nobody wants to play with. That's what it is. Right? He's not being picked for volleyball, and he's like, volleyball sucks. It's like, well, actually doesn't suck. There's plenty of people who enjoy volleyball and have lots of fun. And you think it's stupid because no one wants to play with you. Okay, fine. No one wants to play with you. You know, that's life. That the way a guy creates value and creates value and causes women to be interested in dating him is to provide something to her. Money, status, security, something. The way a woman creates value and causes a man to be interested in dating her is to exist. Okay, so he's basically saying women are born with value, men have to create value. Yeah, that's a bunch of horse shit. Men are valued for what they can provide. Women are valued for who they are as a person. Yeah, if you're a loser and you've never, ever led anyone or anything, even yourself. Because when you do get into these situations, okay, you do have knowledge, you do have experience about what value you can bring about in someone, okay? All value has to be created. Nothing has inherent value. Even diamonds don't have inherent value, okay? 6,000 years ago, when diamonds were still here, okay, they had no value because in that context, it was just a little rock. That's it. And it's still just a little rock. The only difference is that now we have a certain context and perception to classify this thing as something as valuable. But all it is just compressed minerals. That's it. It's just compressed minerals or a compressed mineral. So all value has to be created. There's nothing that has inherent value. Okay. Like, okay, maybe some things like air has inherent value, like because it's linked to survival. So probably things linked to survival has inherent value, like air, sunlight, water, food. All right. These have inherent value. But as like individual creatures or characteristics or things like that, like there's no inherent value. Every person has to create value. Okay. But on top of that or underneath that, there is the value that you are as a man once you realize it. So I guess even then that's a creation, because if it's dormant, that's sort of like if a tree crashes in the woods and no one's around to hear it, did it make a sound, right? So if a man never realizes his own value that's in him, that he can bring about to a woman, then does that really even count if he's unaware of its existence? You know, so in bringing that out and nurturing it, that too is a creation. All right. So let's say good afternoon, guys. Yes. Simran Simbi. All right. Good to see you, man. Bill Pert. What's up, dude? But I know plenty of fat men who get a lot of women. Yeah, of course. Because their character surpasses their looks, and they probably don't take it all that seriously. But the guys in this chat or this subreddit, these are the dudes who are like, oh man, if you don't have looks, money, and status, then you can't get anything, right? And it's like, shit, all right, you know what? If you were born with poor genetics, so be it. That's life, okay? Like I have male pattern baldness. So I have to shave my head. Such is life, okay? I'd love to have a hairstyle. Like that'd be fantastic. That'd be so much fun, but I don't get that opportunity. You know, if you do have some sort of thing that you would consider a shortcoming, you then would have to do other things, right? Which is more importantly your mind and your communication. And this is what you should be working on regardless of your image. Uncle Guns, low quality males say the same exact thing as low quality females. I shouldn't have to do XYZ. My mate should like me for who I am on the inside, and wonder why they don't win. Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't think that there's such a thing as a low quality female. There's just females. The only thing that changes that, right? So, you know, like I don't think there's many different categorizations of men either. Either there's men and there's not men. Like that's it, really. And so with women, it's the same thing. There's women and there's not women. And the only people that I'm going to consider as women, or women and NPCs, if that makes more sense from my angle. There's women and there's NPCs. What makes her a woman is her being on my program. If she's not on my program, she's an NPC. Simple as that. So there's no like good, bad. There's this, that, and the other. Like once she's in, then her goodness is then determined based around her ability to follow further and learn more and grow more. Okay. Let go of her ego more, let go of her pride more, her independence more, and deepen herself into the dynamic. That makes her better. All right. So let's see what these fools are talking about. Creating value, born with value. Some women don't put as much active effort as guys do. This is my answer. I run into this in many forms many times, or having unrealistic expectations and standards. Okay, so it's pretty simple. It always boils down to this. It always boils down to her just being into you or not, or the amount at which she's into you. A woman who has high desire for you will put in active effort. If she does not have high desire for you, she's going to put in mediocre or low or no effort. And that's what it is. Okay? And if you want her to, you're well within your rights to tell her what you expect. Okay? Or if you think that's not worth your time, you can always dismiss yourself. Really. It's not that big of a deal. Troll God here says, not a gendered specific, but dating sucks because as a young man or woman, you don't really know what you want. You don't want until you've actually dated some and went through heartache, problems, etc. It's not easy to learn what you desire and are compatible with in a long-term relationship. Well, yes, it is actually, because you can know what you want just through introspection and writing and research. You don't need to experience other people to know what you want. All right. And this is absolutely something that we do in the academy under the mentorship program is I help you figure out what it is you fucking want. Because once you understand what your wants are, and then you put them into categories of what's, actually achievable and what's not. I mean, if you want a dragon, there's no way you can have a dragon, like a real one. Okay. So you put them into something that's actually achievable and, time bound, SMART goals. Then it puts it more in perspective of what you want and how you can get it. It's really easy, right? Well, it should be easy. And surprisingly, it's not easy for a lot of guys to determine what they want. It's okay, and it doesn't make you selfish to want stuff. It's really not. It's really not selfish. It's perfectly okay to say, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And the women hearing that, like if they're not interested in you, they're going to have something to say. A woman who's interested in you will be like, cool, let me see if I can meet that. Right? They'll look at themselves and like, oh, I'm 85% there. I'm 60% there, right? That's what happens when there's high interest. Here we go. I'm going to resend one of my comments the other day that asked what it has been like using dating apps, which I have done for the past few years, that I believe answers your question. Overall, 85% trash experiences, with the last 15% being nice in unexpected ways. Trash. Bots everywhere trying to sell me stuff. Women just wanting to gather followers for IG. Women who aren't taking the app seriously, who are just super bored and want to read funny responses that make no plans. Catfishes who use 4-year-old pictures 200 pounds lighter versus the recent pics and expect me to still be attracted to them. Gorgeous, promising women with goals in life who want a long-term relationship like you, who actually just swiped right on you by accident. Women who just enjoy the power of how successful they are on the app, who tell you to date other people so we can come back to each other, which translates as, I want to date other guys, but you're my plan Z. Oh, shit. To which I asked her if that's what she meant, and she said, yeah, it's like a marathon. That was my first match and the first time I cried in several months since I failed a final at my university. I told her off Okay. So you went from unattractive to an unattractive bitch. Don't tell off a woman. Even your own woman, don't tell her off. Always remain within the mountain mind. You are unmovable. You don't bitch. You don't tell women off. Because that means they were able to move you. So I told her off, explaining why that's a horrible thing to say to someone then unmatched. And do you really think she gave a fuck? No. You were already partially invisible. So having like half a ghost, complain at her isn't going to do jack. He goes on to say, women who make plans then just stop contact out of nowhere with no explanation, waiting for you to stop talking. Women who can't conversate. Is that even a word? Women who can't conversate for their lives, as you endlessly feed questions that are met with 1 to 4 worded answers, such as, hey, I noticed you're a surfer. What made you get into that? And is it as difficult as it looks? The answer, no, not so much. See, that comes from a woman who's not interested in you. If a woman's coming at you with 1 to 4 word answers, no emojis, you cannot feel any kind of joy or any emotion at all in her responses, right? We're talking about text messages here. She's not into you. Drop it. Stop trying to stoke a fire that isn't there. Then I'm sitting there trying to bounce the conversation off that brick wall of a sentence. Okay, he's recognizing she is a brick wall. What does that say? I don't like you. But girls are just not wired the way we are, okay? Girls are not typically going to come out and say, listen, dude, you're fine, but you're not for me. I'm just not that into you. Have a nice life. I appreciate your time. Like, women don't have it in them to do that because they're very much afraid of hurting the feelings of guys, okay? And for good reason, because they've experienced and seen dudes flipping the fuck out. Like this guy, granted, she wasn't that straightforward, but he flipped out. He told her off, right? And then unmatched. Okay, so I'm sitting there trying to bounce the conversation off that brick wall of a sentence, and then when they have the audacity to call you boring, although they haven't asked a question back at all. Yeah, because you're boring. You have no mouthpiece. You don't know how to engage her emotions, okay? Hey, I noticed you're a surfer. What made you get into that, and is it as difficult as it looks? Is a perfectly fine, open-ended question, okay? But it doesn't garner any emotion. It does nothing for the emotion. It's all here and does nothing here. Okay. Okay. Then 1 out of 10 of those times is someone I'm relatively attracted to, while the rest I'm extremely not, and they want me to fix their lives for them based on what I've been told. Okay, so he's just been told that women want you to fix their lives. If they're not attracted to you, they're not going to want you to fix shit. Okay? 15% unexpected good parts. I met a girl who actually matched my humor perfectly, constantly asked me questions, loved adding detail to her answers, as well as actually read through and commented on mine. Then we both admitted we didn't see each other romantically, but as more of just extremely trusted confidants, platonic, so we agreed to it. She's become one of my best friends, who I've confided a lot in throughout COVID since we matched last February. Oh, that's sweet. We call each other a lot, even late at night, and she sat with me through terrible life stuff that made me cry like hell, such as when I thought I failed my university final, thus causing me to restart all of college because I was out of repeat units. I passed the class, but I couldn't sleep, and she works night shift alone at an office with nothing to do, so she gladly took the time to comfort me. Yeah, you were entertainment for her. Around my graduation, she surprised me with gifts of all our inside jokes, including a body pillow with fries printed on it, because she knows I love fries and we joke about weebs since we are anime fans. Oh, God. Another match was really cool and honest with me. See, like, I guess, like, if that could be a real friendship. You can have real friendships with women only unless either you've already fucked and got out of the way, or there's no sexual attraction for either person at all. That's the only time you can have a true friendship with a woman. So it says, okay, she confessed is catfishing me. What? Catfishing? But he said that he's not attracted. So she confessed she's catfishing me due to, she's not presenting herself visually. Due to a massive weight change, and she felt horrible lying to me because she thinks I'm a wonderful person. She couldn't go through with it to see me disappointed. I applauded her honesty and thanked her for doing so, since so many matches I've met would never have the guts to do that. We parted ways, but I hope she's doing okay. Wish the best for her. Oh, so, right. Okay, so this is just more bullshit. More bullshit. Decision paralysis. Okay. Yeah, this guy says he's blaming social media and dating apps and saying it leads to decision paralysis. No, it doesn't if you know what you're doing. If you can engage, see, okay. Women, here's a little secret. Women love having their emotions engaged. They fucking love it. Okay? They love having their emotions engaged. If you can do this skillfully, this whole like decision paralysis thing goes away. Why? Because they rarely get this from a man. It's extremely rare to get emotional stimulation that's deep and has variety from a man. They usually get boring shit. They get boredom from dudes. And they're like, well, all right, he's kind of cute. He's got a nice job. He's boring. Can't fuck. So I could just like hang back, watch my own shows on TV, whatever I want. I can dress however I want at home. I've got plenty of sex toys. My dog is awesome. I like my job. So like, what the fuck is the point? Go out and be with a sea of just these weirdos who that know nothing about how to engage me as a woman. Or I can just be pleasant alone with everything that I need. Like, then put yourself in that situation. Which would you choose? Shit, I'd be at home with my dog in my sweatpants, my fucking vibrator, watching Netflix, my fantasies, and having a great time. Versus going out and talking endlessly about nothing. After I like spent an hour or longer trying to prepare myself for a date, and I get there and the guy's like, so is surfing difficult? Like, come on. And she's like inside rolling her eyes like through the back of her skull going, my God, how did I get myself in this situation? Oh, I know. I was bored. I didn't want to watch, Vikings again. I wanted to give my Rose a break. Thought maybe there was a slim chance that this would be fun, but it's kind of boring. So I go to the bathroom and send my girlfriend a text saying, in 15 minutes, I want you to call me with an emergency. And go back out, sit down with my drink, looking pleasant because I don't want to show him how bored I am because I'm not an asshole. And then boom, I get the call from my girlfriend. Jessica? Really? Oh no. Oh, Steve, I'm so sorry. I have to go. My friend's dog was just hit by a car, and I need to go to the vet right away. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I like take you anywhere? No, that's fine. I'll be in touch. Bye. Go home, take all that shit off. Fuck. Gotta wash off makeup, take a shower. Finally, getting back in my sweatpants with my dog who fucking loves me and is awesome. And I get to watch my fucking Viking shows and masturbate. It's like, that's what happens, guys. Because this is what women experience. They experience boredom from dudes, okay? Like, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get by going to the gym, okay? Muscles are great to look at. They're great to feel, okay, for women. But they don't do anything for their emotions. They don't produce emotions, okay? Sure, if you combine that with certain behavior characteristics and certain communication, that this will start spurning some kind of fantasy in her mind about you, which will then spurn emotions, okay? But just going to the gym is not going to do anything for her, okay? It's not going to make her feel anything. All right. She might be able to recognize the aesthetics and appreciate it and like, oh man, he's hot. Like, right. And there might be like maybe a little spark of lust there, but lust is not a deep desire. Okay. It's a surface level, or I'm sorry, emotion. It's a surface level emotion. Okay. Lust comes in and out very easily. We're talking about impactful emotions. Okay. You want to be able to impact a woman, making her feel herself in a different way than she normally has. Your muscles are not going to do that. Okay. Your job's not going to do that. Your clothing is not going to do that. Your car's not going to do that. Okay. Where you've traveled in the world isn't going to do that. You being with other women isn't going to do that. Okay. They're like all these, what do they call that? Like pre-selection markers. Okay. All these pre-selection markers, meaning before. Okay. It's not going to determine whether she actually selects you. Okay. Whether she actually shows interest, whether she actually feels engaged with who you are. All right. That comes down to you being able to engage her emotions. All right. Now, I'm not advocating for manipulation here. That's not what this is about. It's not about manipulation. All right. It's just being able to tap in. All right. Being able to tap into a woman's emotions. And this is a lost art. Right. It's not, I don't know if it's a lost art, but it's not a taught art. Okay. You have to learn how to communicate effectively. Right. This is what women mean when they say, I wish I could just feel more connected to my boyfriend. Right. When they're like complaining about their boyfriends and husbands, they want more like, and then the guy interprets that as him being more emotive towards her. He'll think, oh, I just have to show my feelings more. No. That's not what that is at all. What she's asking for is for her to feel more emotions. She wants to feel more, which if it's coming from you as the conduit or the inspirer of those emotions, then that's going to make her feel more connected to you. But if you're boring and you don't inspire those feelings, you don't instigate those feelings, then she's not going to feel connected to you. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you have to be the brush that makes the mark. She's the mark, or her emotions are the mark on the canvas. Okay? And it's like, if there's no brush in your hand, you can't do anything. If you don't know how to paint, you can't do anything. And just scribbling on the canvas doesn't do anything, because we've seen those works of art in the museum where it's just a bunch of scribbles and you go, what the fuck is that? My 6-year-old could do the same thing. Okay? But we've been in front of paintings, like one of my favorites. And actually I have to go soon. I lost track of time. I've got a client at the top of the hour. But one of my favorite types of paintings comes from the Hudson River School. Check this out, okay? The last name of the artist goes by Church. I forget his first name. But it's a number of artists, and they were painting around the time of the development of the land around the Hudson River in upstate New York. And these are amazing vistas. These paintings, they're verging on fantasy. Okay, not quite fantasy illustrations, but they're close, and absolutely gorgeous. And you look at these and you feel something, like you're longing to be there and like feel the sun on the back of your neck and watch the grasses, dancing in the breeze. This comes from knowing how to paint, how to construct an image that elicits an emotional response. Okay. This can be done through communication as well, because painting is just one form of communication. So if it can be done with pictures, it can be done with words. It can be done with dance. It can be done with sculpture. It can be done with music. All right? It's all the same stuff, and it just gets translated into different forms. So don't scribble. All right? Learn how to paint. Learn the fundamentals. And then you can start producing and expressing yourself and producing emotional responses. Okay? All right. So sorry I have to cut this short, but I've got somebody waiting for me at the top of the hour. So just real quick, how do you know when you tapped into her emotions? You can see it. Her behavior shifts. Like guys, you know what I'm talking about when she gets that twinkle. Right? You know about the twinkle? When she looks at you and she literally has like this twinkle in her eyes when she's looking at you. And you see that the twinkle is the fucking best. All right. But that's one sign, is having the twinkle. All right. And it's not something I'm making up here. Other guys can attest to it. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Sorry it was so short-lived. I'll probably come back early next week. All right, I'm working on a lot of stuff. But yeah, go to the website, dominancecademy.com. Check out the new book, How to Be a Fantastic Lover. It's re-edited, and you get a piece of bonus material where I put the fantasy that I put up on YouTube, that YouTube took down. It's in written form. And so if you want to read through that fantasy to gain some inspiration about writing your own fantasies, get that and buy the book, and then you'll have access to the bonus material fantasy. And in the book, it teaches you how to create fantasies and what they would look like and what they sound like and what the dialogues might be like, how to reframe her mind into the situation. There's a lot of mind in the book. There's a lot about how to utilize your mind and your mouthpiece to create the things that you'd like to see. All right. So if you want to learn more about that without coaching, this is a pretty good, second position to coaching. All right. With that, I'm going to bid you guys farewell, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.